What's going on, everyone? It's Ricky with Learn, Plan, Profit. Hope you guys are all having a good start to the morning. I'm just going to make sure and take a double take and ensure that everyone is here for the live stream, or that we are at least all ready to go for the live stream. Here we go. I just want to confirm that we are live. Let me know when you guys could see my screen and all that good stuff. Just let me know. We are ready. Let me see if you guys can see it. Yes, you are live. Let's get it. All right. Sounds good. So, all right. Well, hope you guys are all having a good start to the morning. DGAS has been pushing up, and it's been, or let me kind of explain to you. I've been up since 3:50. I set my alarm for 3:50. I was like, wow, I really set a huge gap for myself for this challenge, right? And I was just like, all this talk that's going to happen if I don't hit my $5,000 goal. I was just like, I really need to make sure that I put in the time and the effort today. There's a natural gas report, and I wanted to see if there's any clear direction during pre-market hours. I can trade as early as 4 a.m. That's 2.5 hours before the market opens. And right around 3 to 4 a.m., one thing that we began to notice is that, natural gas did a decent job kind of just consolidating, right, since it closed, but then it began to sell off, trading between the middle and bottom VWAP, and then this is really where it began to sell off. So right around this general area, it began to sell off. It found a support, it pushed up, became overextended, and because of all this, and then began to aggressively sell off. So if you were part of the main chat, you would have seen that I was trading DGAS as natural gas was selling off, and right now it just made lower lows. It had a huge sell-off just a little while ago. So I'm actually going to lock in profits right now. I have 50% of my position left, or a little bit less than 50%, or a little bit more than 50%. So I'm going to go ahead and go right on over here, and then sell 100% of my shares. And then here we go. So it's still pushing up. Natural gas is still selling off. And again, I have that on my second screen right now. And let's just make sure that we set this up accordingly. I'm going to set this up with a limit order. Again, if you've ever wanted to trade during pre-market hours, you need to make sure that you change the day to EXT, right? So let's just make sure that we're all well aware of that. And here we go. So I'm going to put it to 26. I'm going to do 30 just to get out at a decent price once that's in between the ask and the bid. So again, I just want to explain myself. And let's see. Are we going to get filled? Nope. Already pulled back. Looks like natural gas is already pushing. So I'm going to move this up very quickly. All right. It should be in our favor. So there it goes. The ask is climbing. Here we go. Nice little push. Are we going to get a sell-off on natural gas? So the more that natural gas sells off, again, the more that DGAS pushes up. Again, I feel comfortable around this general area. I'm just going to get rid of it, and that's just me. So not bad. Got out, and it just made highs for the day, right? So this was the pre-market highs, but it made highs for the day. The MACD is still in its favor, and there it goes. It's pushing up. What's new? It should be pushing up to around like 121.50, maybe 122, and then it'll become overbought. It'll pull back, and then we'll kind of go with the flow. I just want to go with the flow. I want to get in the same routine of getting in, getting out, getting in, getting out, and making sure that anytime that there it goes. So nice little push up. So just went from 121.45 to 121.66, locked in, $98. Nice. I like that, Fazian. Congrats. So here we go. We have a nice strong push on DGAS. Nice little sell-off on natural gas. Let's see. And natural gas has a lot of ground to cover when it comes down to selling off. I don't know if you guys remember yesterday during my video. I just talked about very simply, if you guys saw that affiliate video that I shared, natural gas pushed up very aggressively. Usually when it does this and it gets to around the 2.60 price point, based on the past 10 days, it tends to get rejected around that area, especially because it pushed up so quickly. It could have gone either way, and that's why I woke up early to try to identify which direction it was going to be going. So, of course, no, Faison, congrats on the huge trade. That's beautiful. So, I'm going to give it a little bit more time. Is there anything else that you guys are paying attention to that's pushing up, pushing down, and that has a clear direction? So right now we got /ES selling off, right? Trading between the middle and top VWAP, or middle and bottom VWAP, I apologize. But right now it's very close to the support, so it wouldn't make too much sense to get into like the inverse ETF, right? Here we go, /GC. Looks like it was pushing up. Now it began to push down, but now it's beginning to consolidate. So it's kind of on both sides, right? Natural gas, in my eyes, and again, I might be very one-sided, but in my eyes, this was the only one with a clear direction of it selling off, or either pushing up or selling off. So this one was selling off. /NQ, yes, this is downtrending, but it's not as consistent. It bounces off the bottom VWAP, it pushes to the middle VWAP and stuff like that. So I just felt like that one made sense to me in my eyes, right? There was another list that I created yesterday. So here we go. Let's check these out. I don't know why I named this watch list swing. This should be a pullback reversal. But I wanted to talk about them very quickly. Is that cool if we cover them, or do you guys just want me to do break down some stocks for you guys? Whatever you guys want. If you guys want me to break down stocks for you guys, I mean, we have time. I can do that later, or we can do both. I just wanted to, I shared, if you guys stayed up to date with it, I shared this, right? So, and I added a little bit more. I wanted to talk about a series of stocks that are extremely oversold, that are in good deal ranges, but are not necessarily good buys right now. Okay, sounds good. Give me 1 second. Alrighty, yuck. Here we go. Okay, so we talked about TQs, right? So on the 180-day chart, so I did an analysis on the 180-day chart. Why did TQs come out, right? And we've talked about this. Do you guys remember when we saw that TQs, not TQs, but /NG, it was showing signs of a very, /NQ, showing signs of a very consistent uptrend. It began to consolidate right around this general area, and we talked about it. Hey, the market is a little bit more on the overbought side. It makes sense on why it's going to pull back, right? It made sense why it can. And it began to sell off, and guess what? It's now below the SMA line. So all I wanted to talk about was that, just like the market, just like /NQ, TQs is following as well. And that's why I think it's so important. So now I would set my alert because it was such a consistent uptrend. So again, I like the overall direction. Now we need to just wait for this thing to confirm a support. If it does, great. Then it has a nice little margin for it to recover. And we waited for that to build itself, right? Microsoft, a very similar pattern, very consistent uptrend pattern. And you can see it hit highs of 132 almost. It's selling off right now, and we're just waiting for it to catch a support and then push right back up. I actually don't think Microsoft was in the list that I shared yesterday. I was really bored with my work yesterday, and it was a very slow day for like being productive. I don't know if you guys have ever had that, but like I didn't trade. I felt like it was almost a waste of a day. I just had to deal with stuff with like our cars and all that. Like I hate those kind of days. It just feels very unproductive. But yeah, that's why I just was going through all my watch lists and cherry picking the different stocks and stuff like that. So an aggressive sell off on USO. It began to show signs of an uptrend and then sold off. It's again consolidating around this general area. So I would set my alert around this general area and try to see if it could push up. So D-gas just sold off quite a bit, so it looks like natural gas is trying to push up. I'm going to give natural gas a little bit more time for it to push up. Hopefully it can become extremely overbought. I can buy the dip on D-gas because that's the ascending uptrend pattern, and then we could approach it that way. So if that makes sense to you guys. Here we go. Netflix was showing signs of a very slow but consistent uptrend pattern here. So we could see right around 380 is a resistance right now where it's at. The margin isn't huge. Again, confirmation is still key as it could still sell off, but I wanted to talk about it very quickly. MMM, so this is 3M if you know what they are. It's a paint or wrap company. But again, aggressively sold off. We're still waiting for the overall reversal, and it has a nice little margin for potential recovery if it does recover. So I thought that would be interesting. I would also look a little bit more into the fundamentals on maybe why it sold off so aggressively. How many of you guys have had this one in your watch list? This is ticker symbol WYNN. So this is the Wynn Resorts. If you've ever visited Vegas, that's the only one that I've ever seen or been to. But it, as the market sold off, so did the win, and then overall, it's been showing signs of a consistent uptrend pattern. The margin for recovery is a little bit over 10%. This is one that I found attractive. It still has an upcoming earnings, so just make sure that you watch out for that. And yeah, I just like the overall direction. I like the uptrend pattern. I like the margin for potential recovery, and all we need to wait for is confirmation and higher highs. Same thing with Target. Again, a lot of consolidation. It's selling off. It's building that margin. And this was shortly after the news was released about Amazon offering their one-day shipping for Prime members. So I just thought that this would be interesting to also follow up with and just keep a close eye on. So we got MCHP, very similar uptrend pattern. Again, sold off with the market, began to uptrend, aggressively sold off, already released its earnings, and now we just need to wait for confirmation. Margin of profit isn't huge, but it's still 10%. So again, even if you take half of that, that's still a huge margin. This is Crocs, the very stylish shoe, if you guys have ever seen that. But it's reaching this general support area where it's traditionally bounced out within the past like 6 months, and then overbought right around that $30 price point. So right around $24 to right around $30. It has a really nice margin, 25%. Even if you catch 1/4 of that, I think that would be attractive. This is Google, what you guys use to search stuff. Nice little consistent uptrend pattern, a lot of consolidation. I set my alert for the break above like 1210, 1206 and stuff like that. Let's just follow up with it. And margin for recovery, isn't too bad. We just need to make sure that we wait out for that. This has to be one of my favorite ones. I don't know about you guys, but Lowe's and Home Depot have a very nice and like beautiful consistent pattern. The margin for profit isn't huge. I was going over a series of stocks with Weston because Weston is going to begin to swing trade just because he has a bunch of different things that he's going to be doing. So he wanted something that could accommodate his like work schedule and stuff like that, right? So we could see that based off previous resistance, it's around this general area, right? And based off where it's at right now, even after confirmation, right, we could wait shortly after $20. The margin is not bad. It's a little bit under 5%. I find that to be somewhat attractive. And Lowe's has a very similar pattern as well. So you get to cherry pick whichever one you want. Actually, Lowe's has a larger margin. But I just thought that it would be interesting to talk about and to call out. I don't know how you guys feel about it. If you're like, no, those are whack, I don't want them. That's the beautiful thing about trading in the stock market. You get to choose what you focus on. AEE isn't because the margin is super attractive or anything like that. The margin in essence is actually pretty small, but it's a very consistent uptrend pattern, and I thought that this would be somewhat helpful and beneficial for a lot of our traders that are struggling to stay green, that you can have an alternative of something that just is continuously showing signs of an uptrend, that you could still focus on managing your risk, position size, and getting in and getting out when it makes sense and stuff like that. So and then AUDC, very consistent uptrend pattern, a little bit more volatile. So I would set my alert for when this thing breaks above $15. And then the margin from $15 to about $17 is a little bit over 13%. And I would just set my series of alerts here. So again, we're just simply waiting for the confirmation here. This is CWT, nice little uptrend pattern, a lot of consolidation. We've been watching and waiting for this one for maybe the past month, a little bit under that. But just thought that this would be interesting to cover. So that was my breakdown and my watch list. So what do you guys feel about /NG right now? Looking at it on the 1 day, 1 minute chart, do you guys see how the MACD is a little bit more on the overextended side? So I'm gonna take a position, and it's gonna be small, won't be huge. I'll take it. There you go, NQ. Let's see if we get filled. Nope, already pushing up. Okay, well, I got filled at 120.83 with 150 shares. So that's going to be my skin in the game. And what I'm going to do now is simply wait for confirmation. So even if I do wait for confirmation and everything goes according to plan, I still don't have to come out on top, right? And that's the thing that we need to make sure that we do. We need to make sure that we manage our risk and that we stay according to that, to not mess up any of our trades or anything like that, and to make sure that I've had moments. I remember when I first started trading, for the second time, and I was a little bit more consistent and stuff like that. There was times where I really felt like I was getting the hang of it, and then I just bag held one stock and I would give back all my profits that I worked for the past month or 2 months and stuff like that. And it's just a very upsetting feeling. It's not something that you want to put yourself through. So most importantly, it's a tough pill to swallow, but managing risk is just a huge part of the game. So let's just make sure that we stay true to that. So it's not about averaging down or staying at the lowest purchase price. It's, we have an entry, we'll have a max dollar loss, and if it exceeds that, then we'll cut losses and move on to the next one. So that happened to me. I think that happens to a lot of people. And people probably think that it's all their fault, that they're part of the 90% right away. It's just, it's a obstacle, right? That people encounter. But that's why it's so important to either paper trade or trade with a much smaller dollar amount, because it's very difficult to understand that when you're just getting started. You think that you're just going to start making money right away. And I feel like I've tried to express how important it is to practice first and then focus on making money. But again, I know some of my videos talk a lot about money and stuff like that, so people think that they'll be able to do it right away. But I hope that those that actually go through the course and stuff like that can clearly see that it does take time, but it's a fun experience. And I think that's the beautiful thing about what we do and stuff like that. So JNUG is ripping it. Let's check it out. So JNUG, okay, nice. It just hit like pre-market highs. So look at the MACD, look at the RSI, get a little indication of it being a little bit more on the overbought side. Also keep a close eye on /GC. There we go. So approaching previous resistance. So just ask yourself, does this make sense to lock in profits? Should you lock in profits here? And if it continues to uptrend, should you get back in? Or do you just want to hold and risk it for the biscuit and follow with a trailing stop loss, right? That's really up to you. So right now, again, we're still waiting for the break above, or I'm still waiting for the break above 121. The MACD is in my favor. We just need to make sure that this thing begins to uptrend. We need to see that natural gas begins to sell off. So I'm going to set my alert on that. And kind of wait out for that. I have to blow my nose again, team. Here we go. How are you guys all feeling like you're doing this morning? We're doing good? Are you guys all good? Hey, what's going on, Vertigo? Happy to have you back. Daily Nozzle, yep, that's correct. Give me 1 second. Up 2.69%. Hey, I like that. Nice, nice. Yeah, no sound. Yeah, you guys always make fun of me when I blow my nose, so I decided to turn off the sound now when I blow my nose, just so it doesn't bother or gross anyone out. Ricky, take a look at the drip on the 4-hour chart. Yeah, I was looking at that yesterday. I was looking at Gush and drip. So I think everyone's saying right now that drip is pushing up. Yes, it's about 5% on the day. I didn't see this thing to last that long. Do you see how it's doing a lot of consolidation? But it's an overall descending pattern. Unless the overall direction begins to change, again, which is 100% possible, then great. But as of right now, like, this is a descending pattern, and it might be trying to catch a support right around the SMA line. I mean, it still hasn't sold off below the SMA line, so again, great. But it's not necessarily a good deal. It's kind of almost making lower lows and lower highs. So I would just, not be afraid to lock in profits. If there's any indication, especially within the day, then just feel free to lock it in and stuff like that. So, yeah. So here we go, /NG. Can we start making some lower lows, please? Ricky, is TVIX an inverse of SQQQ? It's up 16%. No, TVIX, if I'm not mistaken, follows the S&P 500. The S&P 500 and the NASDAQ are relatively pretty close, so maybe that's why you're seeing the correlation. But TVIX would follow something like /ES, and I have that right here. So that's the S&P 500 future. So then if we go to like TQs, right, that one sold off about almost 5%. This one pushed up almost about 5%. So then how is TVIX up that much? Wow, okay. Wait, I must be confused. I don't know if TVIX then follows that. This thing pushed up way more than... Wow, okay. And what's the one that follows? It's SPY, right? That's so weird. That's so weird. Yeah, so this is the S&P 500 ETF. Yeah, TVX is the bear ETF. Well, that's pretty crazy. I mean, that's pretty cool. But look at the R side, look at the MACD. So let's just make sure that we keep a close eye on that we understand that it's a little bit more on the overbought side. So, Ricky, I didn't quite understand your entry on DGAS. Could you please explain it on natural gas terms? Yeah, so JNUG just actually made higher highs on the day. So pretty much natural gas is a descending pattern. It's making lower lows and lower highs. ADT just broke below $6. So it's making lower lows and lower highs. So what I was waiting for is because natural gas is selling off, DGAS pushes up when natural gas sells off. So because natural gas just pushed up, that means that DGAS could potentially be added support. So looking at the R side, looking at the MACD and how it's beginning to descend, I took an initial position size on DGAS, and then as it confirms an uptrend, I'll slowly begin to add more to my position size. So right now, natural gas is showing more signs of it selling off. So I'll simply, add another 100 shares and stuff like that. So I'll add another 100 shares at around, I would rather wait and add 250 shares once the confirmation is there. So I've learned from my mistake on Tuesday how important it is to wait for the confirmation before I add more, especially trading with a larger dollar amount. So, and right now, natural gas is really just consolidating, and this is a perfect example. It almost confirmed an uptrend and then just sold off 50 cents. So, I'm good on that. So, just cut losses. Are you asking for me to cut losses or for that you just did? I don't know why, but my messages won't show in the chat. Yeah, they're here. They're just a little delayed. There we go. Natural gas is pushing up, showing signs of it being a little bit, or pushing up a little higher. I see. Okay. Well, that's good. I mean, managing risk, that's always good. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's showing signs of like almost a confirmation. And I reminded myself, right? Like, hey, this is why it's so important. You're not trading with $25,000. You're trading with potentially 100K. So that's why I need to be a little bit more selective with my entry points. So here we go. That's so good. I like that. So I have a friend that that follows /GC and JNUG and JDST very closely. That's all he trades, and he does short-term swing trades. Sounds like it's very similar to you. So super happy to hear that you found your niche and it's going well for you. Bloodbath market, TVX equals good deal. I wouldn't say that it equals a good deal. I would say that, showing signs of an uptrend, but it wouldn't be viewed as a good deal, especially not on the 180-day chart at all. Let's see. Pretty crazy, right? The volatility. Yeah, just went through its earnings. This thing, okay. Yeah, it's doing a lot of consolidation. It looks like it's trying to build like a little reversal. So we'll wait out on that. Here we go. Don't you think that there's a lot of consolidation on natural gas? Doesn't that worry you? Why and why not? Yeah, so, Surge. I don't know if am I pronouncing Surge. Is that how you pronounce it? But yeah, that's why I'm not fully invested. Right, I'm in with 150 shares. It's about a little bit under. What is that? Um, what is that? 1/5 of what I could be trading with. So I'm still keeping a close eye on managing my risk, making sure that I keep my losses small. So I still want to have some skin in the game. There's no true indication. So I get what it is that you're saying, that there's a lot of consolidation happening with natural gas, all that stuff, right? I get that. There's no true indication of an uptrend or a downtrend. I just know that, the overall direction, that should be in my favor. And that's why I'm in with the 150 shares. Doesn't mean that I'm going to hold it, or if it continues to sell off or push up, then I'll manage my risk and I'll cut losses on degas. But I still wanted some skin in the game. I still think that natural gas can continue to sell off, and because of that, there's no true indication that, hey, natural gas is completely the way to answer your question is, there's no break of pattern. So if natural gas then begins to trade above the middle VWAP and then begins to push up, obvious change, that's not something that it's done before. So that's a change of direction, a break of pattern in which I saw natural gas, which then is going against me. So then that's why I would manage my risk there. So I don't know if you remember, but I like managing my risk with either a max percentage loss or a break of pattern, whichever usually comes first. So yeah, with this one, it would be, as of right now, like a break of pattern. It still hasn't broken any pattern. Yes, it's still consolidating, which is in a sense scary, not really, but it could be concerning, right? But that's why we don't add more to our position size. But I really like that. I like that question. Sweet. Are you going to get out before the natural gas support? Nicholas, question for you. Have you ever tuned into one of our natural gas reports? Does anyone want to help me answer Nick's question? Am I going to get out before the natural gas report? Let's hear it. There we go. No hodl here, right? And I want you to know. I mean, if you ever want to test it out yourself, to explain it very easy. I just don't like to guess or hope, right? It's a 50-50 chance. It's okay, well, the odds are not completely against me, and that's great. But just imagine if you're trading with $1,000 right now, and you go for the natural gas report, it plays out in your favor, and you make 2 or 3%. And you're like, wow, I should probably just do this next week, and I'll do it with $20,000. And then you begin to build your confidence on something that's based off of luck. And for me, it's just not worth it. What I can control is after the sell-off happens, for whichever one it is, I get to decide if this is something that I want to partake in and stuff like that. So because of that, it makes more sense for me to not hold. So, and Nicholas, the only reason I was letting everyone know, oh, do I take a position or do I hold a position? It wasn't to throw you under the bus or anything like that. I'm really happy that you're asking questions, and I just want people to also be more involved, and this is one of the only ways I can get them to comment. So all right, best morning hair. There you go. Finished my first year of college. Congrats, that's huge. Here we go. Natural gas selling off. Okay, so good. There we go. Nice little push up, so I should be able to pop this right back up. 250 shares. Can we get confirmation? Can we get confirmation? So we got confirmation on natural gas, which is something that I find to be a little bit more effective. So I'm actually gonna go for it here. We got filled. I got filled. Some at 87, some at 90. There we go. Let's see. All right. Today I finished the lesson library. Time to start and open a real account. What do you say, Ricky? I still wouldn't say that it's like after you finish the course, you still need to practice. Like that's the thing. Like practicing is like going through the material or go and reviewing the material. That's great. But like practicing and implementing everything that you learned, and until it actually all makes sense, and then you can consistently prove to yourself that you can grow your account, that's when I'm like, okay, now I feel ready, because you have the experience and the track record. That would be my, even if you just dedicate like a month, just think about it. Just dedicate a month. You won't lose any money. It's paper trading, and more practice. You'll learn a lot. Just dedicate one serious month. Put yourself to the test. One serious month. Can you do it? I don't know. I don't think you can. Can you do it? One serious month. Just dedicate all to paper trading, to learning. A month. Just a month. Prove it to yourself. Just a month. Come on. Why don't you like shorts? It's not that I don't like it. It's just that it's just not something that I do. There's another form of risk that is added to the table when you short something, right? With the amount of money that you can lose. And I just don't want to provide kind of that alternative for people that are just getting started. I feel like they can lose more than what they have, and it's just not something that I personally want to put anyone through. So I feel like I do very well with what I do, and because of that, I focus on what I do. But yeah, simple. Natural gas selling off, so we should see a nice little push on DGAS. Here we go. So I'm in with a little bit under 50% of what I would trade with. Of course, and feel free to follow up, Jod. I would love to, stay up to date with your overall progress, any questions that you might have, your successes, some of the mistakes, and feel free to share it. I don't know if you guys have ever felt this way, but people love learning from your mistakes. It's honestly super funny. I don't know if you guys remember, how many of you guys remember when I had my $7,000 day, right, trading? I noticed that people don't even care about, and this is just based off my experience. I had, even back in October and November, I had one of my most successful weeks trading, and that video did so poorly. They don't care about how much money I make, and it's just, I don't know if it's because it's become so oh, okay, well, another green day, who cares, right? But when I post that I had a red day, look at those views on that. They're either double or triple of whatever, my normal videos are. And it's funny, but it's people want to learn from other people's mistakes, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. I mean, it makes sense. So even if it comes down to like maybe you explaining yourself of your mistake, what you could have done better and stuff like that, then so be it. But I definitely think that you should feel empowered to talk about something that you learned, regardless if that was for a profit or for a loss. So so Wu Wing, I would say that it's not that I like one or the other more. I've been focusing a lot on day trading because I haven't seen there to be a consistent direction for swing trading. If anything, swing trading was a time where I was like, I felt very comfortable with like what I was trading, and I had to focus like with less time. It's just like following up with the progress. So because of that, that's something that I really did enjoy. But I don't see there to be a consistent uptrend pattern on the overall market. I don't see there to be a consistent uptrend pattern on, any of the ETFs that I'm trading. So that's why I just take it day by day. So it's less of like what I want to do and more of like what I feel like I have to. So but I think that's what's most important to me. Everyone stops to look at a car crash. That's a good way to put it. Wow, I like that. Unfortunately, right? So, Andrew, to answer your question, I would say when there's a break-of pattern. So, if there's a pattern that you see value in and that's what indicated or empowered you to take that position, you waited for the confirmation. So, you have to meet certain criteria before even doing that. But, what's the difference from a pullback and a break-of pattern or an overall reversal is when there's a break-of pattern, when it continues to completely change its overall direction. So, there should be some form of consistency that you would have identified to then want to take that position. And if you're not trading like that, then I guess your approach would have to be a little different in managing your risk at a max dollar loss or max percentage loss or something like that. So, once you start applying the course material, you will see how difficult this actually is to apply. Yeah, I'd say it like with structure, like the consistency factor is like the most difficult part, I think, for um, the average person. Yeah, appreciate that, Nicholas. It's actually really easy. I mean, I'm happy to hear that for you, Michael. I wouldn't say that it's extremely easy, but to each their own. For some people, they find it they deal with the emotions a little bit better than others. So, ooh, so we're gonna have to manage our risk here and make sure that keep this in mind. So I'm down about $83 right now. Not bad, right? My max dollar loss that I want to be down is $500, but I'm not going to put myself through that, not this early. So I'm going to give it a little bit of time. I'm going to see kind of where it's at. And if it continues to, yeah, it looks like natural gas tried to, there it goes, pushing up for natural gas. It looks like it found a support. I wasn't really paying attention to the middle VWAP. For the MACD too much. So here we go. Let's see. All right. Huge push up. There we go. And again, I waited for the confirmation. I got a dip buy opportunity. I waited for the confirmation. I waited for higher highs. And it still didn't go according to plan. It didn't make higher highs, nothing like that, and that's just part of the game. So a perfect example. So this is where the plan B comes into effect, and that's managing your risk. So I'm going to try to see if on natural gas there's a break of pattern. So I'm going to watch this carefully and have my order right here to sell. So we'll see where it goes. Yes, and this is normally where people would be like, how many of you guys thought about like, okay, well, I'm going to buy more shares here, right? I'm going to buy more shares on DGAS here because DGAS is at a lower price point, and they'll try to, lower their average purchase price. That's just not something that I, want to go through, especially not with, I'm trading with a larger dollar amount. So I just want to make sure that I stay true to my plan. So this might be where it's going to try to change its overall direction. So I'm going to wait for confirmation on that We'll see. Yeah, no, I see that. So you're saying that it just made a higher low right here, right? Let's check it out. There we go. Alrighty. Here we go. Still trying to push up, so the EMA line is still acting like a pretty solid support. Yeah, is Trump still tweeting certain things? Oh, talking about yesterday. I see. Okay. Here we go. Push up on natural gas once again. We have 11 minutes until the natural gas report. So I think it might just be best for me to cut losses. I'm right now at a $100 loss. So, I have a feeling that natural gas is going to touch that middle view up. Tell your feeling to go away, Willie. No, just kidding. No, you're right. It looks like it's trying to push up, consolidating. Looks like the overall direction as of right now for the past couple of minutes is in its favor. And you guys pointed out one thing that's true. This was one of the first times that it made higher lows, right? So it was selling off, making lower lows the entire time. And this was the first one that it began to make higher lows. So makes sense on why it could offer this upward staircase pattern. So Ricky, cut your losses on DGAS so it will go up and we can make money. I see how it works now. Let's see. How many of you guys are excited for the natural gas report? Whose favorite time of the week is a natural gas report? Is it just me? It can't just be me, right? You guys excited for it or no? I feel like it's something that like we all kind of look forward to. There we go. Just touch the middle view up. Yeah, I feel like it's something that's exciting for a lot of us, right? The MACD and the RSI are showing that it's overbought and overextended. Here we go. Ricky, you gonna buy the new Tesla Roadster with the rocket booster? No. Yeah, no. Those are I feel like those would hold their value for the first couple of ones, but after that, you guys know that I won't buy any car that will lose a ton of money. So that's always like, what car am I gonna buy next? I don't know, whichever deal I come across. So I don't think I would find a good deal with a Tesla Roadster, especially since they're in such high demand, and they take forever to produce. So um, maybe if I ordered one earlier, it would have made sense, but not now. At least not for me. Let's see. Yeah, it would. I mean, right now, degas is at a very critical point. Natural gas is kind of like where it's at right here, right? Where it's right around that middle view up. It can push above it, but it's so iffy. Like we don't know if it's going to continue to push up or continue to push down, where it would make sense to do this. So that's why I mean, if you wanted to get some skin in the game, great. But overall, I would just wait for confirmation on either side. Either higher highs or lower lows. So don't make, again, my mistake was getting in too early. There's a risk by doing that. But I still feel like I did my part in trying to wait for confirmation before I added more. There's always some risk, but I felt like I managed that pretty decently. So we got 7 minutes left for the natural gas report. Should I just hold it during the natural gas? Just kidding. No, just kidding. Just want to see your guys' reaction. I'm learning to love it. I like that. Nice, nice. You guys are horrible. You guys are telling me to hold it. My goodness. I just want to see natural gas go like, bloop. That's all. That's all I want. That's all I want right now. Just bloop. That's all. The MACD is selling off for natural gas. That's good. So is the RSI. But will the pattern follow? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. A little sell off for the boys. Watch natural gas just go boom, push up. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. We'll see. Can it sell off? We got 6 minutes left. There we go. Okay, nice. It's starting to push back up again. Have you guys ever used this little toggle of like changing it in between like the ask and the bid? No? See. We're just waiting for natural gas direction to change. Waiting for natural gas direction to change. Does Ricky work at McDonald's? Why do you say that? Because you're loving this live stream? This is my first natural gas report. Nice, Blake. Happy to have you here. When's your first stock market rap mixtape dropping? I don't know, when I come out with that fire, right? Here we go. So we might start seeing, based off of this little like higher highs, right? Do you guys see how we could try to find a support here? The MACD is still in favor of natural gas selling off, but I just don't trust it enough, right? So I'm going to go back and look at D-gas. And again, this is just, we're getting really close. We have 4 minutes left for the natural gas report. I want to manage my risk and, keep that in mind. So right now we are, what the? Oh my goodness, my thing, I need to reset my TD Ameritrade. It shows that I'm down when I'm not down. I'm not down on the overall. Let's see. No, it's finding a support. Oh no. Oh, don't reset them. Should I reset the MAC again real quick right before the natural gas report? There it goes. It just pushed up, so I'm going to have to. Whoa, that thing sold off. That thing sold off very quickly. So, and it looks like I'm going to miss out with my chance of getting out around that general area. So, yeah, sold off very quickly. We have 3 minutes left. And it just pushed back up. We called it out on, I don't know if you guys remember, but /NG, right back around that middle VWAP. It bounced right where we said that it could, regardless of what that MACD said. So again, I was getting ready. I just didn't pull the trigger quick enough. I guess I was hopeful, right? We have 2 minutes left. We have a minute and like 40 seconds, so we'll see where it goes. See where you at. There we go. We have about a minute left. Wow, this thing is all over the place. All right, I'm just gonna cut it here. So I'm gonna cut it at $150 loss. Yeah. Oh man, this thing's all over the place. 30 seconds, 20 seconds. Yeah, no, thank you. All right, I'm out 120.25. So we got 8 seconds left. Don't you guys like that? Don't you guys like when it's like, oh no, it's so close? There we go. There we go. So it looks like it's going to push up D-gas. Let's see. There it goes. And there it goes. Whoa. Ooh. Hey, I should have just held, right? I should have just held. I knew it was going to push up. No, it doesn't work like that. Whoa. That was one. It's all good. You can't win them all, right? Where you at? Come on. Can we break above this? Yeah, not a strong report. Not a strong report for sure. Hopefully, some of you guys were able to. Were any of you guys able to get out above like this 121 area? No. And there it goes, right back down. Huge sell-off. Wow. Huge sell-off. Dude, this thing is volatile right now. Wow. This thing's pretty crazy. Ooh. Natural gas just broke above. There it goes. Natural gas is pushing up. Wow. So this has to be volatility from the report as well. That is crazy. We're still within managing our risk, so we're good. So I want to wait for some form of confirmation on natural gas that this is its peak. No, it's still going. Here you go. I want you guys to see what I'm seeing with natural gas for those that can't see it. So right now, natural gas now became overbought. So instead of it becoming oversold, now it became overbought. So now we should see it pull back pretty much just as quick. So let's see. There it goes. Bam. Damn. There we go. Let's see. Just want to wait for more clear of an indication of an uptrend. Yeah, I'm going to have to double check to see what was in favor of the natural gas report because it first looked like it was degas, right? And then the direction ultimately changed very quickly. So this has happened before as well. I don't know if you guys ever remember a live stream like this, but this definitely has happened before. I just then want to give it a little bit more time for it to correct itself. So there we go, just waiting for natural gas to kind of pick a direction. It just made lower. Yeah, I don't want to get filled as it sells off. There it goes. And wow. Dude, this thing is so volatile right now. This thing's pretty sketchy. So the direction is not clear right now. So if you're not in it, I would not touch it as of right now, as it's kind of all over the place. So fun stuff, huh? I don't know. I still find this to be interesting. I still have a lot of fun with it. Looks like we're beginning to consolidate around this general area. So I just want more confirmation. Let's see if it'll still pop up. No. All right. We'll see. We'll see where it's at. There we go. Dang. Oh, right as I noticed that it's, let's see. All right, we're good. So natural gas, keep a close eye on natural gas right now. Averaging down? No. I was again waiting for it to begin to change its overall direction to show signs of an uptrend. So, I mean, in the essence of like, did I buy at a lower price point than what I originally bought at? Yeah, but again, my focus is not trying to buy at the lowest price point, but it's waiting for the overall reversal and direction to change. That's funny. All right, the MACD is in our favor as of right now, but again, like we noticed, that means nothing if we don't have confirmation. So yeah, I'm still not sure about the report was in favor of you guys or D guys. I mean, I'm gonna have to look into that to see which one it was in favor of. It looks like it was in favor of D guys, but something might have changed or some news could have been released of what drove the price up and down. So I'll have to check it out. But that has happened before where the direction changes very quickly. Missed that. Yeah, so well, Cody, there's two entries that I have on Diaz, and I'll explain them in just a little bit. But one was like after the natural gas report came out, and then the other one was right around 120. So one was right around one. One was right around 120.69 or something like that, and the other one was right on 120. So there we go. Wow. Okay. What do you guys think about this? Natural gas is back at that ascending support. Do you think it's going to bounce here? Should we lock in profits? Or just lock it in? Cover it here? Or do we think that it's going to continue to sell off after the natural gas report came out? What do you guys think? I see. Hey, Cody, if you're busy, right? lock it in looks sketchy. Kind of agreeing with you. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'm gonna have to do this quickly. The direction loves to change super quickly. All right, well, I'm gonna have 50% of my position ready for to sell, and then we could follow up with that. But I have to go. I have a call at 7:45 that I have to jump on. But yeah, just wanted to at least, my average purchase price is at, so the reason that I'm selling at this price point at 120.41 is that's my average purchase price right now. So that's why I'm trying to at least get 50% of it out of here, and then I'll be fine with the rest. So yeah, I mean, I appreciate you guys' time. I hope you guys had fun. I know, again, the past natural gas reports have actually been a little weird. They haven't been as consistent. I mean, last week was pretty decent, but the week before that and then today was a little bit different. It doesn't even mean that they're weird. It just they're a little bit different than how they normally perform. So again, it just takes time, and there's no reason to like speed it up. Right now, I wouldn't even say the direction is super clear. Is natural gas going to go up? Is natural gas going to go down? It's not super clear to me. If it is, great for you. If you need a little bit more clarification, then please don't be afraid to be patient, right? And wait for it to play out the way that you want it to. I think that's what's most important. Ignore what everyone else is doing, ignore what everyone else is telling you to do, and just make sure it makes sense to you. If it makes sense to you, you can set up a plan, you can manage your risk, and you can lock in profits when it makes sense. If you don't understand what's going on, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you to understand how to take advantage of these series of opportunities. So hope you guys had fun, hope you guys learned something new. This live stream was a little bit over an hour, so hope I didn't take too much of you guys' time. Like always, guys, I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your Thursday. Continue working hard, continue following your dreams, let your passion be what drives your success. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Looks like natural gas is selling off once again, and I'm about to get filled on my degas position. So we'll see. You guys know where my limit order's at, so once you see my thing pop up, then great. Oh, well, there it goes. Sold 50%. So, boom. All right. Well, now I'm in with 50%. So I have $30,000 into degas. Average purchase price of 120.41. Wish you guys an amazing rest of your day. Take it easy, team.